Question: what if one number, a single number, could quietly determine how much money you spend on gas every week? Not the gas station, not the president, not even the oil companies. A number, okay? And if that number crosses a certain line, gas prices across America could start climbing fast, okay? But here's the crazy part. Most people don't even know what that number is, and when you hear it, you'll start noticing it everywhere. Right now, there's a number analysts around the world are watching very closely, and if it crosses this line, drivers across America could feel it at the pump, and that number is $80 oil. Not gas, but oil. Because before gas ever reaches the pump, it starts as crude oil traded around the world. And when oil crosses certain price levels, gas prices almost always follow. But that raises a bigger question. Why is oil getting close to that level right now? To understand that, you have to understand one of the most important places on earth that most people have never heard of. A narrow waterway called the Strait of Hormuz, okay? It's only about 20 miles wide at its narrowest point, but nearly 20% of the world's oil supply passes through it. Now think about that. 1 out of every 5 barrels of oil on Earth travels through this one small stretch of water. And right now, that region is becoming more unstable, which leads to a problem most people don't realize. Oil prices don't just rise when oil disappears. They rise when people think oil might disappear. And that's exactly what markets start worrying about when conflict spreads in the Middle East. You know what I'm talking about. Because when tensions rise there, 3 things start happening almost immediately. Shipping slows down, insurance prices for oil tankers skyrocket, and traders start betting that oil might become harder to move. But here's the part that affects you and me directly. Even if America produces its own oil, we still pay global prices. That means if oil prices spike anywhere in the world, gas prices eventually rise here too, because oil is traded on a global market. So when traders start pushing oil prices higher, gas stations usually follow. And recently, gas prices already jumped in a way that caught analysts' attention. But that leads to the next question. How high could oil actually go? Some analysts say if tensions escalate, oil could climb past $100 per barrel. And historically, when oil crosses that level, gas prices tend to jump quickly. That's why analysts keep watching that $80 level so closely, because it often becomes the point where gas prices start creeping upward. And the moment that happens, drivers start feeling it. But gas prices are not the only part of the story, because when fuel prices rise, everything else eventually rises too. That means higher groceries, shipping costs, air travel, construction, even the price of basic goods. That's because almost everything you buy moves on trucks powered by fuel. So when fuel gets expensive, businesses eventually pass those costs on to, us consumers. Which means rising oil prices don't just affect drivers, they affect the entire economy. But there's one more thing most people overlook. The global economy is more connected than most people realize. A conflict thousands of miles away can ripple all the way to your local gas station. A disruption in a shipping lane can change the price of groceries. That's the nature of a global system. Everything is connected. And it reminds us of something people have understood for thousands of years. Actions always create consequences. So if you really want to understand where gas prices might go next, just watch the oil market. Watch the global tensions and watch that number, $80 oil, because if oil crosses that line, there's a good chance you and me will see it reflected the next time we stop at the pump. It is what it is.